I'm Ben Meiselas from Legal AF, joined by co-host Karen Friedman Agnifilo. Judge Scott McAfee, the Fulton County Superior Court judge in the sprawling racketeering case brought by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, just made a pretty significant order that if I'm Donald Trump, I'm nervous about right now, because we talked about how some of Donald Trump's co-defendants like Ken Chesebro and Sidney Powell made this demand for a speedy trial, which in Georgia means had to go before November 1st based on the unique statutory scheme there. Speedy means very speedy in Georgia. And in this notice of motion hearing, Judge Scott McAfee is asking the parties, and specifically Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, if she is capable of trying all 19 cases together. And then also, what would it look like if the cases were severed individually or tried in groupings? But I'm a little nervous right now if I'm Donald Trump. I want to get your take as someone who led the Manhattan District Attorney's Office for almost 3 decades. Like, Karen, what did you make of this? Because yes, Judge McAfee's inviting briefing, but he seems like he's intrigued by this concept of doing a trial with everybody together. October 23rd is when the Chesebro trial is going to go. Is there really a way that all the cases can go October 23rd?
No, there's no way all the cases can go October 23rd for various reasons. I think the reason Scott McAfee asked for a hearing tomorrow on the efforts for everybody who wants to sever their cases from each other, Chesebro and Powell, and for the prosecutors to provide an estimate of time that it would take to trial all 19 defendants together. I think the reason for this is, let's not forget that Georgia's court appearances and hearings are all televised. And I think Judge McAfee wants everything on the record and nothing to be done in secret, nothing to be done that's subject to interpretation by anybody. Let's just have it done on the record. I want the prosecutor to tell me how much time this is going to take for all 19 defendants. Let's see what we have. And then let's discuss the logistics on the record, right? And not just in filings. And let's have it so that everyone can see what's going on, because there's so much going on in this case. I mean, the fact that Jack Smith brought his case, which is 1 defendant and 4 charges, just looks more and more genius every day, because it's just 1 defendant and 4 charges. When you see what's happening in Georgia, you see the mischief that can occur when you have 19 defendants and all of the, a 98-page indictment that has, 150 or 60 plus overt acts and 4 dozen charges. It's because, you see what's happening, right? You've got 3 defendants who want their speedy trial, which means it has to go in October. Then you've got 2 of those defendants moving to sever from each other, Chesebro and Powell. They're saying we both want speedy trials, but we don't want to be together, right? So what? That means Fani Willis is going to have 2 separate cases going at the same time in 2 separate courtrooms, because she has to start both cases at the same time, because she has to have a jury sworn based on the Georgia speedy trial laws. So that, they're just logistically speaking, those have to they either have to go on at the same time in 2 different courtrooms or go on together. And for judicial economy reasons, any judge would certainly keep them together. The only way they'd be severed is if they have inconsistent antagonistic defenses, that they're like pointing to each other, or, one saying, my defense is, mistaken identity, and the other one saying, no, it was, consensual, or whatever it is that, the different antagonistic defenses can be in this particular case. That's the only real grounds for severance for the speedy trial ones. But don't forget, you've also got people who, including Mark Meadows and John Eastman, who are seeking removal to federal court, right? They want their cases not even prosecuted in state court, but in federal court. And then you've got, John Eastman making a motion today saying, I want time to file my demurrer motion, which is a motion to dismiss certain charges, or to dismiss the charges. I don't want the court schedule that you set, Judge McAfee. I want time to have Judge Jones in federal court rule on my removal motion then depending on how that goes, I'm going to appeal it, and I'm going to appeal it all the way. So I want 30 days post all my appellate remedies being sought. So that delays things. And then you've got Donald Trump trying to, sever, saying he doesn't want a speedy trial, right? And there are other rights that defendants have other than due process rights, other than the speedy trial right, that the other defendants aren't going to agree to waive. So I think it's such a mess. It's so hard to keep track of. And, then there's the whole logistical consideration of, can you fit 19 defendants plus all their lawyers and their lawyers' paralegals in a courtroom to try at the same time? And how much time would it take to have 19 cross-examinations of every single witness? So one witness testifies on direct. If you have 19 defendants going at the same time, each lawyer 19 times gets to cross-examine that person on their own. There's 19 openings, 19 closings, 19 lawyers get to do voir dire. You get the gist of it. So just from a logistical standpoint, 19 defendants aren't going to go at the same time. So I think the judge just says this whole thing is a mess. People all want different things. The defendants clearly aren't, there's no sort of unified defense strategy, other than chaos, perhaps. And so I think he wants all of that on the record, so that everybody can sort of see what's happening and make sense of that. So I think that's what's going to happen, and that's why he did it.
If you have a family like I do, you know how much your loved ones depend on you. In a worst-case scenario, you wouldn't want them to worry about money. Policy Genius was built to modernize the life insurance industry. Their technology makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from America's top insurers, and in just a few clicks to find your lowest price. With Policy Genius, you can find life insurance policies that start at just $25 a month for $1 million of coverage. Some options offer coverage in as little as a week and avoid unnecessary medical exams. Policy Genius has licensed, award-winning agents who can help you find the best fit for your needs. They work for you, not the insurance companies. That means they don't have an incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can trust their guidance. Policy Genius is for parents, caregivers, and anyone else who has people who depend on them. They simplify the process of getting life insurance so you can protect the people you love. There are no added fees, and your personal details are private. No wonder they have thousands of 5-star reviews on Google and Trustpilot. Your loved ones deserve the financial safety net. You deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. Head to policygenius.com or click the link in the description to get your free life insurance quotes and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com.
Going to be a lot of fireworks, though, here. I mean, recall that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis originally requested, after the indictment was brought back on August 14th, she requested March 4th of 2024, right? That is now the trial date for special counsel Jack Smith in Washington, D.C., set by Judge Tanya Chutkin. Then you had Ken Chesborough, Donald Trump's co-defendant, request a speedy trial. Sidney Powell did the same. The judge had to agree to that request, had to accede to the request, and then that was set October 23rd of this year. So in basically, less than 45, 60 days. I mean, that case would be going to trial from when Chesborough made the demand. And then Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis was like, I want to try all the cases now, October 23rd, just to show how supremely confident that she was ready to go. And so that, and then we had a lot of the co-defendants say, I'm not ready. This person saying they're not ready. Jeff Clark filed a motion earlier saying that, he doesn't want to go until his appeals are exhausted after seeking a removal. Meadows filed a removal. There's evidentiary hearing briefings taking place there. There's a lot going on here, which is perfectly within the province of Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to deal with and resolve. Just disentangling the mess just requires some time. Just so everyone could see the notice that was filed by Judge McAfee, here's what it says. Having read and considered the severance motions submitted by defense counsel, this matter is scheduled to consider the issue of severance on Wednesday, September 6, 2023 in the court. At the hearing, the court intends to ask the state to provide the following information. One, a good faith estimate of the time reasonably anticipated to present the state's case during a joint trial of all 19 co-defendants, and alternatively, any divisions thereof, including the number of witnesses likely to be called and the number and size of exhibits likely to be introduced. So ordered, September 5th, 2023, signed by Judge Scott McAfee. And Fulton County District Attorney Filoni Willis is going to have an answer to that. If you were to try all, let me ask you this, Karen, as a former prosecutor, if you were to do this trial with 19 co-defendants, the way it is right now, with a RICO conspiracy like this, obviously not all 19 are going to go, because already we know that some are going to have to be severed based on the speedy trial request. How long would you say it would take to prosecute a case like this? Not in terms of to bring it to trial, you're at trial. Would it take a week to do a case like this? Would it take, 5 weeks? Would it take 6 months? Where do you estimate it?
Look, without knowing how many witnesses she's calling, because I obviously don't know what her case is, this looks like a 6-month trial to me. This is a big case. This is in New York. This would be a 6-month trial, because it wouldn't just be the witnesses. It would be corroborating all the witnesses. It would be their cell phone records, their emails, the videos showing people going in and out. It would be disproving things that they are saying. It would be, this is a big, long, detailed, meticulous case. She's going to put on proof of all 160 something overt acts. Each one of them is going to require elements of each of the act to be proven. And don't forget, her burden is beyond a reasonable doubt. So personally, in New York, this would take 6 months. We'll see what she estimates. Like I said, I don't know how many witnesses she has, so it's hard to say. But, depending on how many witnesses she has, will depend on how long it will take. I mean, Jack Smith, in his one defendant 4-count case that's similar to this, but also incorporates all of the other 7 swing states, right? He estimated, something like 6 to 8 weeks, right, for his trial, I believe. I think that's what he estimated. Now I'm thinking he said a little bit longer than that. But so if you're going to have 19 defendants, it's going to be a lot longer than that. So personally, I think it's about 6 months.
Well, everybody stay tuned as soon as we hear what goes down at this hearing. But remember that September 6th hearing was originally scheduled for the arraignment, as well as severance issues to be discussed. Mostly everyone waived their arraignment and pled not guilty via pleading, but Judge McAfee wants to keep the hearing to address the issue of the scheduling. And so it is going to be very, very, very significant regarding scheduling what goes down September 6th. We will keep you posted here on Legal AF. Do me a favor, check out patreon.com/MeidasTouch to learn about Karen Friedman Agnifilo's origin story, Michael Popok's origin story. That's Patreon, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, MeidasTouch. Become a member there. Also, you can just subscribe to YouTube for free. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.